Are you a beginner? Let's talk macros, which is macro elements. See, all food contains microelements and macroelements. Microelements would be vitamins and minerals. Macroelements would be fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So every product will contain those three macroelements. Most of the food will contain combination of three, sometimes two, in some sort of a ratio. So what is protein, what is carbohydrate, what is fat? Let's say this, it's an egg, right? So is it like a protein, is it fat or carbohydrate? What do you think? If we check macronutrients of an egg, it will contain fat, protein, and the carbohydrates. And according to Google, it will have 11 grams of fat, 13 grams of protein, and 1.1 gram of a carbohydrate. So which one it is, fat, carb, or protein? We tend to say this is protein because the majority comes from protein. So if we take 100% and then the major part will be protein, then it goes to a protein group and we say egg is a protein. Does it mean it doesn't contain carbohydrate? It does, 1.1 gram. Does it mean it doesn't contain fat? It contains fat. Mainly egg yolk contains fat and egg white contains protein. But egg yolk also has protein in it. So protein, how about this? It's an apple. What do you think? Carbohydrate, is it fat, is it protein? Let's see. Okay, I Google apple and it gives me apple incorporation. Nice. So here we go. Apple also will contain a combination of three macronutrients. It will contain fat, it will contain carbohydrate, and it will contain protein. However, according to Google, per 100 gram of apple, we will have 0.2 gram of fat, which is like super tiny amount. We don't even count that, okay? But it's still there. 0.3 gram of protein, which is still tiny amount of protein. We don't even count that. And majority comes from carbohydrates. 14 gram of carbohydrates. So we clearly can say this is a carbohydrate. Let's talk cheese, for example. If we take cheese and Google also macronutrients, we will also see a combination of three, fat, protein, and carbohydrate. So is it fat or is it protein? Depends on the cheese. Some cheese will contain more fat and less protein, and the ratio will be like 40-60. Then it will be like more fat than protein. I tend to say cheese, it's more fat than protein for me. It does provide you protein, but not as much as, let's say, an egg or meat. So then we'll probably put it in a fat category, but because majority comes from fat. Pure fat version would be, let's say, olive oil. Let's actually see olive oil. Okay, nutrition. It has 100% of fat, actually. 0 carbohydrates, 0 protein, and 100 gram of fat per 100 gram of olive oil. That is a pure version, but mainly every single product will be a ratio of 3, and depends what is the major part. We tend to say this is protein. Let's talk packaged food, for example. So this is milk. Is it fat, protein, or carbohydrate? I don't know. Let's see. When food comes in a package, we can easily read the label here and see that milk contains fat. In my case, it's 2.5% fat. Maybe your milk 3.5, maybe it's a skim milk, which is 1% fat. It means that this product was processed and brought to this fat percentage level. Then on the package, it will say, in my package, it says that it has 3 grams of protein and it has 4.7 grams of carbohydrates. I can't say whether it's a protein, carbohydrate, or fat. By the way, milk carbohydrates is milk sugar, which is lactose, if you don't know. By the way, in the end of the video, I'll show you a little trick how to read the package very quickly and how to identify quick and easy macros on the packaged food. But then you can always read the label. It will be written on the label how much protein, fat, or carbohydrate in this specific product, if it's packaged. If it's not packaged, as a general rule of thumb, protein group will contain meat, chicken, fish, eggs, and here is the full list for you. Major group of carbohydrates will be basically fruits, vegetables, grains, flour, or products that contain flour such as pasta, bread, any bakery, and everything else basically has a lot of sugar in it, including all the sweet stuff, by the way. And fat, the pure version of fat would be olive oil, as I said. There is also butter, which is very high in fat. Butter, by the way, will contain protein, a little bit of protein and a little bit of carbohydrate. But we still tend to say it's fat because the majority calories coming from fat. Here is a simple chart for you. 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate equals 4 calories. This is how the whole system is calculated. Let's say if you have 10 grams of protein, meaning that you consumed 40 calories. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. I hope this was clear. If it wasn't, leave me a question down below, and as I promised, I will show you a trick right now how to find out macros pretty easily. Here we have this convenient fitness application. Simply download this to your phone. There is a free version, so don't worry. And it has a scanner option inside of it. So you kind of take your packaged food, scan the barcode, and see right away your macros. There you go. And now I invite you to this video next to learn more about weight loss and healthy eating.